Um, so my name is Maurice. I'm a Haitian immigrant kid, hence I'm a language speaker, French and Haitian Creole. So Susan and I get along so well. Um, I was born in New York, raised in Boston. I'm based in DC, and I split my time between here and the Mediterranean, specifically Cyprus, Lebanon. They're very close to each other. Why I'm here today is that I've been involved in real estate since I was 21. If you've ever seen any of my posts or interacted with me in person, you know that for me, real estate is a tool. It's just a tool for life. It is not my life. I don't think it should be anyone's life unless real estate is your absolute passion. Then it's not a work thing anyway. It's something that you just love doing. But I found real estate when I was 21 and it changed my life.
Okay. I was going to ask you. Okay, go ahead. You start. That's fine.
Yeah, I found real estate when I was 21. So my background is I was 25 years an executive at a company called Accenture. Also 22 years as a lieutenant colonel and federal agent in the military, specifically my beautiful Air Force. And I also became a street cop. Hi, Laurie. I also became a street cop in 2008. My friend Laurie there, I'm so happy to see her because she is someone that I patrolled with at night for years. And to see her here makes me happy. But I became a street cop because I wanted to give back to local community in meaningful ways. And Sue's alluded to it. I'm somewhat of a lifestyle design enthusiast. I have designed my life in a manner that I don't need a vacation anymore. There's a lot of different aspects to that, and it's something that we can talk about. But I've been to 100 countries over 300 times. I have tried out for the NFL. I have acted on TV shows. I'm executive producing some media projects now. I built Quattro Capital, which is primarily probably what we will talk about. After I did do single family for 15 years or so, I needed a new challenge. I found multifamily just by going to a seminar. It was not for the money. It's because I needed a new challenge and something to focus on, and it just worked. A few years after that, I found my business partners. We did a deal together. We realized that we were very like-minded in that real estate supports life. It's not that our life was about real estate. And we decided to form Quattro Capital. Quattro Capital is an alternative investment firm. We primarily syndicate very large apartment complexes around the US, particularly in the Southeast and Texas. But we've invested in everything from apartment complexes to raw land to mobile home communities and parks to tiny container homes. I'm missing something in there, to single family homes. And I'm testing for Quattro right now on my own overseas development in the Mediterranean to see if that's something we want to bring into the fold. When I say lifestyle design, the Mediterranean is a great example. I am not doing real estate in the Mediterranean for money. Big contrary statement. The reason I'm doing real estate over there is because when I was a federal agent in Turkey in 2015, I fell in love with the region. I knew that I wanted to live or work there in some meaningful capacity, not just be the American dude who is, visiting the restaurants, what have you. And I put a vision in my head that I was gonna be there in some capacity. And in 2020, I met my now business partner. He is from the island of Cyprus. He happened to be in real estate. When I see an opportunity present itself, I don't wait. I just do and course correct. And I'm on my third and fourth project. And this week is a really big week for me. I'm taking actual ownership of a foreign company, and that doesn't really happen in my family. So that is a very lifestyle design oriented endeavor. It will result in money, of course, but that's not why I'm doing it. I'm doing it because I want to try life on. If you've ever seen my LinkedIn banner, I talk about trying life on quite a bit. There are ways that we can try life on. Real estate supports it in a big way, as does our normal employment, as does our ability to connect with meaningful people. So it's a very big part of my life. But that is the background of who I am and what I've done. There's a lot to it. That was a very high level overview. There's a lot to it, but I want to make sure I leave space for you guys to ask questions. This stuff is about you. So I will go wherever it is that you would like me to go. It can be real estate. It can be, how did I do 3 careers at one time? It can be, how did I systematically take paychecks over the last 25 years and invest my way to
We
2000?
leave this behind. We're gonna be talking about that.
Yeah.
All
So
right.
we can go wherever you want, Suze.
Yes, thank you. So he just gave us a little snapshot of his career and where he's at today. So that's kind of stuff, but there's really more into him. Is to me personally, he's a motivation for me. So I'll go on LinkedIn and open my LinkedIn and see Maurice. I met Maurice in 2019 in DC while I went to a seminar, and then he happened to be there, and that's how we met. And of course, we don't talk every day. He's a very busy man, but whenever I need him, he's always there. He also always answer my call, my email. So I always find a way to get a hold on him. So, so the way we wanted to start today, so you all know I'm into real estate, and there's a lot of people here into real estate. So we're gonna use real estate, but really and truly, I wanted Maurice to explain his life, how he gets to where he's at. But first and foremost, we're gonna start about his childhood, give us a little sneak peek in his childhood, and how he started into real estate. Why was it real estate?
Yeah. 2 things. One, when I was 15, so again, Haitian immigrant family, my parents' value was getting me to college. I'm super grateful. So but one, when I was 15, my father sent me to France, and I traveled around the country for 30 days with an exchange student's family that stayed with me the previous summer. That changed my life because it showed me that the world was more than inner city Boston, and I could do more than buy sneakers, buy chains and beepers and all that stuff. That was the first thing. But the real estate thing came in when I bought a book when I was 21 years old. Two things happened around that space, age 21. I bought a book, Real Estate for Dummies, Personal Finance for Dummies, because I noticed that I was starting to get behind in credit cards and stuff like that. And in that book, it had a passage that talked about passive income. So then I started to realize, there's this thing you can do where you can make income without physically having to be somewhere. And I didn't totally understand it. So that was one context. The other context was, I think sometimes, luck is when preparation meets opportunity, right? So in 2002, it was the beginning of a boom cycle. I bought a place to live in Alexandria, Virginia. 3 months after I bought it, the next place over with the same floor plan sold for $30,000 more. So my father explained equity to me, and that floored me that I had made $30,000 by doing nothing. So I did what we would do back in the day when there was no Google. I went to the library, and I went again, and I went again, and I found real estate. And within a year, I had bought 10 more condos. So that's how real estate came to be. I had this notion that I could buy real estate to then create income, to then have the space and time freedom to have the feelings that I had when I was traveling around the world when I was 15. And that's what it has done. So I've stayed with real estate the whole time since.
Right. So you started in real estate when you say you were 21 when you
I started researching real estate when I was 21. I closed my first deal when I was 24. And I think I did like 50 single family deals by the time I was 35 or something like that.
Okay, now can you explain to us, because superhuman, you're just human just like us, how you work 3 jobs at the same time? You're military, you're also an executive at Accenture, and also work as a street cop. And how were you able to do that kind of things? And I mean, what kind of job were you doing? Why would your job allow you to do such things? Because very few jobs will let people do that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's the thing. I didn't ask for permission. I don't ask for permission. I ask for forgiveness. You just go do the things you need to do in life. But the way that it all manifested itself, Accenture, the consulting firm, was always with me since I was 21. They hired me right out of college in 97. The military was also with me as well because they gave me a scholarship to go to school I was supposed to go active duty military, but in 1997, there were too many officers graduating college nationwide. So they let me go guard reserve. So that was manageable, those two, because there's a lot of people who are professionals who are also in the reserves, right? I was a federal agent in the military. So by the nature of what I did, I wasn't a normal reservist. I had arrest authority and carried a gun every day. And it's a very unique lifestyle, but I had it and it was manageable. Where things got a little bit interesting was when I deployed for 9/11. I ran a field office in DC and in Germany. And when I got back after 2 years of being active duty and doing amazing things around the world, saving people's lives, chasing down fugitives, being in a diplomatic capacity in high-level government meetings in different countries around the world, the idea when I got back to Accenture or being in corporate of like helping an organization make more money really wasn't sitting well with me. So I tried to quit to become a street cop. And I had one person at the agent at my firm who was like, why would you give up 80% of your salary to go be a street cop? And I said, because we only have one life. And she and I worked out something where I went to police academy, but when I would finish police academy at 3 o'clock, I would log on for the consulting firm, work as long as I could, and then take vacation for 2 or 3 hours a day, that kind of thing. So fast forward 2008, I did all of it full time, never told anyone. Laurie kind of knows the story. Some of my shift mates knew the story. I didn't tell anyone at my firm because I didn't want anyone to assume, for example, if I was tired at work one day, it's because I was patrolling the night before. I wanted to be judged on the outcome of what I did at work, not if I was in the office or whatever. That's the problem with 9 to 5. For some reason, this arbitrary 9 to 5 thing has created a system by which you can be judged on time doing something rather than the outcome of what you are creating. So I had the right boss at the right time, and I asked her better questions about, I don't really want to be promoted. What I want is to give you the right outcomes. Let me know what that is. And that allowed me to manage all these careers, all these years. And lastly, I understand that it seems like a lot. And I know that there's only 24 hours in a day. But frankly, if you really want something, you'll find a way. Think about all the time that we waste on Netflix or going out or spending time at a restaurant or whatever. My golden time, Suze, when it came to real estate was mornings and weekends. So 4 a.m. to 8 a.m. was my hustle time. Whether I was in a patrol car or not, I was always working at 4 a.m. That's 4 hours a day. That's 20 hours a week. That's 80 hours a month. That's 960 hours a year. That's 5.14 weeks to build your business or your lifestyle or your dream. If you add one more 4-hour block on Saturday and Sunday, that's 2 months of time you've created. So when people tell me I don't have time, I'm a father of 2 kids, one autistic. When people tell me I don't have time to do A, B, and C, I'm probably not the person to try and convince that there's not enough time to get stuff done.
Well, the time issue you just said, it's real. And I know a lot of us have something with time management. So
Yeah,
was it something that was always in you, or did you have to hire a coach to teach you how to use your time, or you were just, free-minded and you like, okay, I want to go ahead and this is how I'm going to manage my time? Because I wouldn't imagine at some point you didn't find it as manageable, and then you learn how to climb to it. Was that something like that, or is just something that just came
I don't think for 1 second anything I say or anything I post, I had it all figured out from age 21 to age 47. That's a bunch of crap. Like, this was all trial and error, and I was trying to figure stuff out, and there were miserable moments. There were moments that I was asleep in my car. There were moments where I was tired at the office. But the one thing I got right was I was unwilling, and I'm still unwilling to accept status quo. I don't even know what that is anymore. So when this notion of we graduate from high school, go into college, get a nice career and a 9 to 5, and then the white picket fence, 2.5 kids and a dog, and that's what we are supposed to do. I don't like that at all. Now, there's nothing wrong with it, and I do have that as the foundation of my life, but I want so much more. I want to experience everything. That notion of experience everything is what drives me. I'm still doing it to this day. I'm 47. I feel like I haven't even started what I want to get done, right? So yeah, there's limited time in a day, but we have 28,000 days on this planet on average. I have 10,500 and change left. I don't take anything for granted. So when there's this tool called the productivity pyramid, I talk about it in coaching, but I am very aware there's four levels of time. There's goal time, the stuff that genuinely makes you happy, family, travel, your hobbies, da da da. There's dark green time. Dark green time is the stuff that makes you money. So if I have stuff that's powerful, if I have a meeting with an investor and that results in 200 grand, that's dark green. That is something that drove a lot of outcome. Then there's the light green stuff, and you want to live in the green. There's the light green. Light green is the things that you and I have to do every single day, but it's really something that can be outsourced or automated. We got to go to the bank. We got to go get the groceries. We got to drive our kids to school. These are things that just have to get done. For the most part, I have learned to either get rid of it, outsource it, or automate it in some capacity. And then the last level of time is brown time. It's the bullshit time. It's the stuff that we've always done all of our life. And then we will finish doing that thing, going out with friends, going to the bar. I'm not saying don't go out. That's not what I'm suggesting. What I'm suggesting is that the time, like the corporate networking events that meant absolutely nothing. I just decided to not go anymore because it wasn't effective time. So no, I didn't have it all figured out, but I had such a passion about designing my life and not accepting the status quo that it forced me to use my time as meaningfully as possible.
Great. That's really some good information. I don't know if you guys have some question for Maurice. Just go ahead and post it in there. I'll read it for you, or you can raise your hand and then I'll let you ask your question. But I'm gonna go down my own question that I have, and whenever you guys ready, you guys can go ahead and say what you have to say. So, but can you talk to the aspect on how you leverage your paycheck? Because I hear you talk about this a lot on LinkedIn, how you leverage your paycheck and in order for you to buy asset.
Yeah, I will. So
I mean, there's a lot of people here that are workers. I mean, they still do their 9 to 5, and they would like to know how they could get out of that.
Well, so if someone was to go to my LinkedIn page, it's in the featured post, but I talk about this 10-step plan that I kind of created for myself back in the day, and I used it to escape the rat race, right? So here's the 10-step plan, if you will. Here, actually, I just found it. I'm gonna post it in the chat. I think I told you the trip that I took when I was 15 years old, and then this notion of passive income such that I could go live life well. You see what I mean? I'm not really talking about money. I'm talking about generating money to go live life well. So I had a why. My why was lifestyle. My why was family. That's the first thing. Number 2 is stop buying unneeded stuff. There is so much in our society about buying commercial junk. We buy so much stuff and it forces us to work. But the biggest mindset shift and practical shift that people can make is understanding that you should pay yourself first. The future you is your number 1 bill. I figured that out probably around age 22. Instead of, don't get me wrong, it wasn't always perfect, but generally, when I got paid, I would pay future Maurice first. And by that, I mean, I would take a portion of that pay and I would store it somewhere. Hey, Jadrian, I see your hand, so I'll grab you. I would take that check and I would pay myself first, and I would store that money in some account somewhere before I paid the electric, the rent, all that. If you think about it, we are conditioned to go to work and pay our bills and then invest the rest, or save the rest, or do something with the rest. And my conditioning through self-education has been, when I get paid, I put everything aside. I make investing really easy. I make day-to-day life really hard. So yep, my electric bill is late a lot. Things I need to do are late. I haven't paid, I don't know, the speeding ticket that I got off the Maryland Turnpike, and now they added a $20 fee. I'm okay with that. because the money that I have typically goes to a storage account. And when I have enough in storage to buy an asset, I go buy an asset. Again, so the trick is, Suze, like, how do you systematically use your paycheck? You pay yourself first. You set it up in a systematized way. You make investing easy. You make day-to-day life hard. I have plenty of money sitting in my storage account somewhere, probably 7 figures right now. I'm waiting to do something in particular with that money. But there are bills I need to go pay. I can't pay them right now. I will wait for the next time that I get paid, because the future me has to be first. Hopefully that makes sense for people, but that in a nutshell is how I was able to accomplish what I did for 15 years through 2015 on average of 80K salary, because I was always paying future Maurice first.
I think I'm gonna let Jadrian ask his question, and then I'll go.
Yeah.
And ask her. Go ahead, Jadrian. Welcome.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, Maurice, a pleasure to meet you. I've really just been kind of following your content for the last 7 or 8 months, and it's been tremendously inspirational. And I come from like a military intel background as well as technology consulting.
Oh, right on. We come from the same space.
Yeah, I'm out in Reston, Ashburn area. So I've really been inspired a lot by.
You flipped on the mute button, or you muted.
Yeah,
yourself,
you're muted.
Hey, Jadrian, you muted
she
yourself.
keeps on talking. She's muted.
I can't get her to unmute.
We
Hey,
cannot hear her.
Jadrian, you muted yourself.
Yeah,
There
I
you
keep
go.
Oh,
yes, you
sorry about that.
muted. Yeah, the minute
Sorry.
you say you from Western Virginia, and then you went on
Yeah.
mute. So if you can
Sorry about that. Yeah, so I was I know that you've been on this path for a long time, even through like the recession of 2008.
Yeah.
So what are kind of some things that you're keeping in mind and would have advice for others as we kind of enter into this kind of the next few years, what we see as, you know, potentially some instability in the market?
Yeah. 2008 to 2011 really hurt. I was not, yes, I was investing in real estate, but what I didn't understand was real estate cycles. I had no idea. So when the downturn came in 2008, quietly, one of the reasons why I became a police officer too was because I needed the money. I had probably at the time I had 20 residents, 20 homes that I owned, and probably half the tenancy stopped paying. Fortunately, I had 100 grand in the bank just because I was always storing money constantly, right? And I was able to meet the difference of mortgages and things of that nature, but it ran out. So here's what I did. While I got the advice to file bankruptcy from a lot of people, I just refused. I picked up the phone and I called every single bank and I negotiated with them. All of them. I had to. All of my work would have been lost. So I had one foreclosure. I had like 3 short sales, but I survived. Thank God I did, because those 18 places that were paid off by 2015, that is what has economically driven me for a long time, because I created, 160 grand of passive income. All right. So what does that mean for this downturn? I knew the downturn was coming. I was very well prepared. And the funny thing is, in a downturn, the opportunities are incredible, incredible. In 2012, 2011, something did happen. I did recover, and then I found myself buying other people's short sales. I'll give you an example. There's a particular apartment complex in Southern Maryland, a condo complex, where I've been buying condos for years. I own 6 condos in that complex. They are worth 130 to 200 grand, okay? But after the downturn, some people had to short sell their condos and they were selling for 35, 40 grand. So I snapped up 3 of them. It was hard to do, but I snapped up 3 of them. Those 3 I still own outright, and they're all rented for 1,700 bucks a month, right? But they're all worth 220 grand. Now, the funny thing is people will say, go ahead and sell them. They're worth 220 grand. You crazy? I don't want the 220 grand. I want the 1,700 monthly, because that's how you live, right? So for this downturn, I'm well prepared. I don't do adjustable rate anything from a personal perspective. And then what I do, especially for Quattro Capital, for my investors, there are owners out there who are in trouble because they bought apartment complexes or single family homes 5 years ago with adjustable rate things, or they never saw this coming. So a deal that I can't talk about that deal because it's not public, but a deal that I closed, for example, we closed it at 21.5 million. The original sales price was 26. We were able to get them we were able to get them down to 21 million because the writing was on the wall. Their loan product was adjusting up and they could no longer afford the debt service. So what do you do in a downturn? Look for opportunity. Everyone is scared of the downturn. You know why? Because the media. It's the apocalypse. Everything is, no, it's not. It is a normal cycle. That's what I want to tell you. It is something that happens normally. And if you understand how cycles work, and they tell us in books, we just have to go to the library and get one, then you understand how you can best prepare yourself for it. That's just a very high level answer, Jadrian.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, my pleasure.
All right. Thank you, Jadrian, for this question. Anybody else have any more questions? Because we only have Maurice till 3 o'clock. And then once that 3 o'clock hit, gonna get going, because even me, I'm not even home. I'm at family weekend, my daughter's college family weekend. So I'm actually at the library right now to have that weekend. So we always try to make it work. So I think my next question for Maurice, and I think I did, Maurice retired, and I think people look at retirement differently. Maurice retired last year. He was 46, I believe. Mm-hmm. And then a lot of us in the multifamily space or real estate space, we quit our job, or some people think one day they would like to quit their job or when they live in the business, but it can be a scary moment if you're not there yet and you're like, okay, this is what I want to do. I'm going to just leave everything and go ahead and do it. But Maurice, you sound like a very, very free spirit person. So have you ever encountered with fear, and how do you deal with that? Because I think that's what holds a lot of people back sometimes. They're so scared. They don't know, a lot of unknown. I think that get people really, shaken.
I think I have a fear, no. Danger, yes. I'm not worried about fear. I think I have a leg up on most people. And the reason is because I grew up in inner city Boston, so I saw a lot of stuff. That's one. Two, I'm a military guy. Like the stuff that I was doing in the top secret world, and let's say Somalia or the Mideast or whatever, you guys have no clue. And I was so humbled by it, but I understand what happens in the world. So I have a better understanding of just how things work. And then three, I was a street cop. So with my friend Laurie right here, the amount of calls that we would go to where there's a guy with a gun or there's a burglar in someone's house, we are literally trained to run towards danger. So no, I don't have fear. So when there is a $10 million loan or whatever, nope, zero. I think the crux is fear. Will Smith said it. Fear is false evidence appearing real. You know why people have fear? Because you have lack of information. And what I was very good at doing was going to get information. One of the reasons why I was so entrepreneurially depressed, I'll explain that later, but why I was so entrepreneurially depressed earlier in the journey is because pretty much every weekend I was in the library reading, always on my own, by myself, constantly. But that level of information absorption gave me a level of confidence that was good enough to go get it done. And then one of my superpowers is I don't wait for anything or anybody. I just do and course correct along the way. So remember, when I found out what equity was for my father, what did I go do? I went to the library. I went to go get the information. And that for my first closing, for my first condo that I ever closed, I took a book to closing. I was like, oh shit. I got to sign the settlement statement. And that was it. That's how I did it. You can collapse fear and get rid of it with information or people who have already done it. But I'm telling you, you will never have all the information ever. You have got to just get some information where you have relative ability to make a yes or no decision. But once you make a yes decision, go, jump, course correct. I'm living on a Mediterranean island after 18 months of meeting one person. I have 100%. I know what I'm doing if that part of that island is Turkish. The documents are in Turkish. The records are all paper-based. It's very difficult for me to operate, but I'm on my 4th project because you just figure it out. That's what life is. You figure it out. So any fear that you have or apprehension about going into real estate, I'll give you a tip. Try it on. My mantra is try life on now, right? You've seen that on LinkedIn. Try it, practice it. One of the reasons I travel to so many countries just for weekend trips, like I'll just go to Turkey just for the weekend, because I've been practicing it for a long time. You just got to do and course correct along the way. But no, I don't have fear. What I do have is responsibility now, though, Suze, because I invest a lot of people's money. I'm a fiduciary for them. I have to think differently about them than I do for my own life. But once I have the information, I will make it and I will go because they count on me to do good things for them too.
Great, great. Thank you. Peter, I see you have your hands up. Would you like to go ahead and ask your question away?
Yes, ma'am. So I'm a single dad. I work 2 jobs. I'm full-time. I'm an optician as well as being an adjunct professor. Like I said, and I guess a 3rd job would be single parenting.
Yeah.
I'm also working on, I just started to get my master's in healthcare administration.
Nice.
And I'm trying to balance, like, I guess, figure out whether I should dive in all the way to real estate and put my master's on pause versus holding off on the real estate aspect. I'm reading, I believe the book is called BRRRR, B-R-R-R-R.
Yeah, I know
as
the
well
first
as
strategy. Yeah.
to a couple other books that you had recommended on LinkedIn as well. I guess I'm trying to figure out which direction. If I'm not asking you for a decision, I guess I'm just kind of lost in the moment, if that makes sense.
Well, but you're lost in what? Like, what is the goal? And remember, real estate investing or being an entrepreneur, in the world of Maurice, like when I coach my students, this is what I tell them. Everything is goal-based. When people, I want to invest in real estate. Why?
Right.
What are you trying to do for your life that you think that real estate is going to be the right tool? So when you tell me all these things that you're doing, like, that's beautiful. And you're trying to make a decision. What is the goal of what you're trying to get to?
To create freedom and time to spend with my daughter, for her to have experiences that I didn't have, to travel. Okay. Like I couldn't travel when I was younger. You know what I mean? To have her see new and different things.
I totally understand. So I'll give you just a perspective, and this is something I go through with my students as well. It's like, you need time. The time freedom is the ultimate asset. I don't give a shit about $30 million. What I need is time, right?
Yes, sir.
But there's ways to get time, and through financial freedom, here's how you can get it. There's 2. So I used to think there's one version of financial freedom. I have actually evolved to understand there's 2. The first version of financial freedom is having more passive income than expenses, right? Kind of easy to understand. The second version of having freedom is having a work setup and income creation that allows you to live a freedom-based lifestyle. So I have helped executives, like, I understand that you have climbed the mountain and you are the executive vice president of blah, blah, blah. But if your heart wants you to have more time, then quit the $180,000 job and pick up the $105,000 job. Thank you. That's fully virtual, and build your lifestyle based on that. I think what people are making the mistake, so we're kind of in the general lifestyle design space at the moment, the way we're talking, but where people are making a mistake is they are so worried about titles and the size of paychecks that what they're doing is sacrificing the only true asset that they have, which is time. So even if you are a parent, you can reorganize what your current work situation is to have it be more available for your kids. And you know it. I know it. Okay. But I do want money. like flat out, because I have goals. So the way that I did it was I systematically took paychecks from my jobs. I bought many pieces of real estate, but I tell people, don't get overwhelmed, buy one a year, because by the time year 10 comes and you have 10 pieces of property, the rent in general will have risen, the debt will have dropped, and the equity will have gone up. You've created a pension. So put in the work now so future Peter 10 years from now has more time freedom. Don't get overwhelmed, man. Set the goal. I say find a LinkedIn post. If I can find it quickly while we're on here, I'll drop the link. But I've made it very clear that a career should be one, purpose. I became a street cop with Laurie because it was my purpose. God needed me out on that street. I was happy. I would still do it. The environment's just shitty. I don't want to be out there anymore. But two, a career should be purposeful. Purposeful means you know why you're going there. The reason I went to Accenture every day, I loved Accenture. I'm very grateful, but don't get it twisted. It's because I wanted those 2 paychecks. I wanted those 2 paychecks because it was a fair amount of money that I could systematically invest in real estate, such that when the career highway started to end, I was going to get off on my own terms. So that career was purposeful. So what I'm asking you to consider for your own situation, are the careers you are doing right now purposeful towards your goal? And are you orienting yourself the right way to get to that goal? You know what I mean? I was never overwhelmed with the whole, like, he has 3 jobs, he has no time. No, because it was all purposeful. I was using it for a reason.
Thank you.
You're welcome, brother.
And what Peter was saying, I heard people say that before, and I think I was on that myself, experienced that at one point when I met Maurice. I was very overwhelmed. I was trying to do everything, but I wanted to do real estate, but I didn't know how to start it. And then eventually I start, how you start doing little by little. And I hire a coach, and little by little, I start figuring myself out. And the minute I start figuring, I had a master in public health as an epidemiologist. Then I decided I want to have an MBA. Then I wanted a PhD, and I was going all over the place. Then I was a single mom. And then I'm working 2 jobs, plus I have my business. So eventually I was able to figure myself out. And I said, okay, let me make one thing work and figure it out. And then from there on, you're going to try, repeat it in the next chapter you want to do. So what he's saying is very true. You need to know your why first. Once you know your why, that will give you a guidance what's next to do and where you want to head next. I think I see Shireen. We also have some
Thank you so
people
much.
that want to be some real estate investors here as well. So Shireen, go ahead and ask your question as I'm trying to get my computer gonna die here.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, good. I'm on the highway, so I just want to make sure it's not going out in the background. But thank you, Suze. Thank you, Maurice, for your time.
Yeah.
I definitely I looked you up and I looked into a lot of the things that you talk about and represent, and it is all very informative and inspirational. So I want to thank you for sharing that with all of us. But for my question, I wanted to know, one of the things that I noticed that you mentioned a lot is relationships and nurturing relationships with people. So yeah. I wanted to know, like, how do you balance nurturing relationships from a business perspective, personal relationships? Like, how do you tie all of that in to managing the getting things done and being purposeful about getting things done, but also still nurturing all the different relationships that you encounter?
That is the best question you could possibly ask me, where I think I could give you value. Part of my day-to-day activities has to deal with me investing time in people. I mean this. That recent post, Shireen Shireen, how do you pronounce your name? Sharan?
Right.
Shireen, okay. So that recent post, Shireen, I posted about, I met a guy, I was in northern Lebanon, and I met a guy who started a winery, and I just had a man crush on the guy because he left corporate France and returned to Lebanon after his father was killed in the civil war there, and he reclaimed his land, his family land in the mountains, and he started a winery just based off of stuff that he had seen in France. I was so intrigued by this man that I have been back to visit him maybe 10 times in the last 2.5 years. I'm investing in that relationship. People don't invest in relationships anymore. They network. Doesn't make, Shireen, there was a particular person, I can't say her name, but there's a particular person who reached out to me on LinkedIn about some media related stuff. And we had a conversation. I happened to be in Greece at the time. And she's like, why are you in Greece? And I said, this is what I do. I just came to Greece for the weekend. I wanted to sit by the water and do some stuff. She's like, isn't that expensive? And I said, no, I travel hacked. Actually, I got here for free. So we had this long conversation, and I realized that she's in the media space and she does all these amazing things, but she is connected to this one particular group of people that I was like, really? 2 weeks later, I'm sitting in my house and I'm like, I'm going to fly to Miami. Can we have lunch on Friday? What? Oh, this was Thursday. I said, can we have lunch tomorrow? I was in DC. You're flying to Miami to have lunch? Like, yeah. It was a $180 investment, about $130 for the round trip ticket and probably 50, 60 bucks for lunch. People don't invest in people no more. You got to invest in people. So as far as balancing it all, if you see the post, I talk about freedom principles, time freedom, financial freedom, geographic freedom, freedom to execute on your purpose, and freedom to build meaningful relationships. You need time to build meaningful relationships. If you're in a toxic relationship with a significant other and you can never go out and talk to anyone, you don't have that freedom. If you're in the office for the corporate life and they keeping you there till 9 p.m. at night, when are you ever meeting a Maurice or a Suze or a Peter Gully or a Laurie Long or Jadrian? We need that time. It's not really so much about balance as much as it is you have to realize that that should be a core activity of what you do. Connecting with extraordinary people is the thing that's going to move your life forward. With what might have taken 50 years, it might take 5 months. It was always people. So I have no balance for it. It's when I find the right people to pour into, I will go balls to the wall to invest. And I don't care if they're halfway around the world or just up the street, I'm going to spend time with them. That's the best answer I could give you. But any level of success that I've had since 2015 has been because of people, not me, people.
Thank you for that. That was very, very helpful. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, Shireen.
Okay, my next question. I know last time I spoke to you, you talked about mindset.
Yeah.
So what does mindset play into all this that you just been talking about? Like, yes, there's not a lot of Maurice out there. You have a totally different mindset. You are framed differently, but how people can leverage their mindset to start doing things they feel uncomfortable.
Goes back to your why. I think your mindset develops as you get older. I'm not the same person that I was when I was 22 years old. I'm not. Mindset is huge. Suze, you were talking about, or somehow you got me talking about my ability to just do things and course correct along the way. That mindset has helped me build businesses and relationships all over the planet now. All of this stuff is a function of mindset, and you can build it by, again, back to people. You can build mindset by associating with, absorbing information from, and being around extraordinary people. You start to realize, we're fallible, we're all humans, especially in our young age, teens, 20s, even 30s. We do care what other people think. But unfortunately, we care so much that it drives what we do. So where mindset has gotten really strong for me is I only want to execute in those freedom principle buckets. I only want to associate with people. I want to associate with people who are doing and think that life can be phenomenal. And I have somehow, and I encourage you guys to do it in your own way, I have somehow built the superpower of, I don't care what people think. I just want to go do and live life in a very unique way for me. I'm not comparing my life to anybody else or anything like that. I don't have time to waste to feel some kind of, what are they going to think about me? So mindset wise, and that goes to corporate too. The last time I got promoted in corporate was 2013. So when I retired in 2021, when I would try and do things at a client site in 2019, people were like, well, you're not a partner. We're not really going to take you seriously and stuff. You should be a partner. We don't understand why you're not a partner. That drives people to become a partner if they don't want to, but that'll drive them there. Yet that will add another 30 to 40 hours of work week for them. You have got to stick to what your actual life goals are and go after those and not worry about what people think. So in answer to your question, mindset is at the root of everything. And you can develop mindset. I didn't have this mindset when I was younger. I had seeds of it, but it has developed from a lot of, it has developed from a lot of different experiences around the world. Not pigeonholing myself to do one thing, to just be an IT person, which there's nothing wrong with it. But because I've been exposed to unique people, I have empathy for different cultures and backgrounds. I've just seen so much. There's not much somebody can tell me that surprises me, right? And those types of things form your mindset over time. So it's a growth thing. It can come from learning, but it plays such a central role in building lifestyle you don't need a vacation from, and your ability to just get after it and do things like large scale or small scale real estate. Mindset matters.
So if you like to talk about a defining moment, whether it was in your career or it was in your entrepreneurship lifestyle or anything in life, when was that defining moment for you and what was the trigger of that defining moment?
Man, I can't really name one. There's not a trigger per se, as much as I've just seen little things along the way and I paid attention to what they were. Things will happen in our, because I am very, I think we all should be very open to opportunity and paying attention to what the universe is telling us. Whatever you want to call it. You can call it the law of attraction. You can call it God. You can call it the universe. You can call it luck. When you have a grand vision in your brain about something, opportunities tend to show up. They do. So when the Mediterranean thing came up, I recognized it. I don't think there was some catalytic event that told me to go do it, but I saw an opportunity and I just kind of, yeah, that makes sense. I'm going to go try that. Probably those two things that I mentioned to you when I was 15 and 21 started this whole, like, I can do more for myself. I'm not comparing. That's the thing. We compare ourselves to other people for no reason. My life journey is different than everybody else's. That's okay. Those two events, when I was 15 and traveling, and when I found real estate, when I realized I could live life differently, changed my whole trajectory. I was never going back. And then there have been other things, like I had a mentor when I was in 2016. He kicked my butt and pretty much, you know what he told me, that mentor? This was about multifamily. I had started multifamily 2 years earlier and hadn't done a deal. And I hired a mentor, and he finally got sick of my shit and my limiting beliefs. And he got on a plane from Providence, Rhode Island to DC. He said, clear your calendar for 2 days. He stayed with me. And he pretty much said the following, and I love him for it. He said, what makes you, Maurice, the young Black man, think that me, the old white guy, you can't do better than me? Changed me. He fundamentally challenged my belief system, and that pushed me. And I like the way he did it.
You repeat that one more time? What he says to you?
He said to me, this is an older white gentleman who had done like 20 large scale real estate deals. I really respected him. And part of I'm giving you a microcosm, but part of our conversations over the years had been, I don't really see people who look like me doing this business. And when he got down, he effectively told me over a 2-day period, what makes you think that just because you're a young Black man that you can't do what me, older white guy, has done? And he was directly referring to my talk track and constant reversion to what I was comfortable with. And he challenged me. You know what's funny? After those 2 days with that guy, I had a mobile home community under contract in 3 weeks after that. And it's been 32 large scale deals since then. Mindset is everything. I had it in me, but somehow Craig brought it out of me in one conversation. I'm so grateful for that conversation, but I know that it was inside of me, but somehow he found how to bring it out. So mindset plays a huge, huge, huge role.
And that allowed you to kind of shift your mindset and like, hey, Maurice can do it as well.
For that one thing, yes. I mean, I kind of knew that. I mean, think about the street cop stuff, the federal agent stuff. I was like, I had a sticking point there. But if you ask me nowadays, there's no such thing as impossible anymore.
Yeah.
It doesn't
You were
exist.
stuck. Yeah.
No,
yeah.
it doesn't
Okay,
exist. You can make extraordinary ordinary. You can make impossible possible. It's all up to you. People say going to the Mideast for a weekend is impossible. I do it all the time. You go to Walmart on a weekend, I get on a plane and I go to the Mideast or Europe for 2 days. But it's not impossible for me. It is normal for me now. It is a muscle. It's just like me having bread. So my life in terms of travel, that's normal. It's not even travel. It's just me living. That's what I'm trying to tell you guys here on this call. If you take one thing away from this call, you can create whatever it is that you want to create unapologetically. And real estate is such a phenomenal tool to support that. That's why I do real estate so much. Not for the money. I'm not chasing money. I'm chasing what it is giving me the ability to do in my life. That's why even though I don't have to work, I work my ass off constantly. And I come on calls like this because I'm trying to express to people, you can. You can. Because I didn't have anybody in my ear between 2002 and 2016 when I was depressed and driving 300 miles and painting walls and getting roaches out. And my boys were thinking I was crazy. And why are you traveling to these weird places? You're a weird dude. We're not hanging out with you. Go be that weird person. Go live your life. Go after the real estate. Go after the opportunities. Do course correct along the way. Create the lifestyle that you don't need a vacation from by trying life on every single day.
But what would you say to somebody who said, yeah, I go to Walmart on weekend, but you go to the Middle East on weekend because you're rich? How would you answer that question?
I don't go to the Mideast because I'm rich. I've been going to the Mideast since I was 22 when I had zero in my pocket. I went to the library and I found a book about how to travel hack and get to places on the cheap. What I wanted was the experiences. People got it all twisted. That's why, and you know that superpower where I say I don't care? I don't feel the need to explain it.
Right. Well, I wanted to get that out of you because that's the first thing. People come and put those barriers and they go like, oh yeah, he's saying all this because, and like, because I walked in a meeting not too long ago and I told the people I'm doing real estate now and I quit my job back in March. They're like, oh, we want to know what you're doing. How you quit your job? How you pay your bills? But well, I don't go buy expensive car. I'm not driving the latest car. Like, you know, yes, I can still pay my bills. So those are the things people not paying attention to.
I think the people should understand, I know we're at the top of the hour, but I just want to give people a window. I still live in my same $400,000 home that I paid off. I'm not in a $5 million house. I still drive my 2005 Infiniti that's been paid off since God knows when. I have zero interest in buying a new car right now. I think I'm going to be forced to. I bought my son a car. I don't need one. I'm just a humble for me. People just have it so twisted what they think wealth is. Wealth is not the money that I'm generating. Wealth is the time that I'm creating for myself to live life extremely well.
Right.
It's different. It's different. So, you know, mindset plays a huge role in this stuff. And when people say those things, it's like, oh, it's easy for you to say because you have, I just expressed to you the amount of depression I went through for almost 15 years of grinding this stuff out by myself, which drives me to come on a Saturday and spend time here and then go talk to Lawrence Laddie's mastermind tonight. I'm not getting paid for any of this stuff. I am literally just trying to help people. So the people who down it, then go work. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you, right? But for the rest of us, you can go live an extraordinary life. Real estate does support it. I don't think you must do real estate, but it certainly is a tool that can supercharge everything that you are trying to do. It has certainly done that for me. And Stacey Herring has had her hand up.
Stacey has her hand up. Yeah, go ahead, Stacey.
Yeah. Hey, Stacey, you there?
Yes, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Technical difficulties here. I just real quickly, I feel like you're just walking in what I'm feeling in this moment and trying to get into this new venture, next phase of what my life is. And my background is more, I'm from the healthcare system. The healthcare system that I do work for has used Accenture as a consultant firm over the years, and I'm in the world of IT. So that grinding that you talked about, sacrificing your yourself and the time that you took to, eat up all your time and working through that IT field, as you IT people know, it can be very overwhelming, very time demanding, all of the above. But my quick question for you, and I just want to thank you for that, because you're just saying so many things that I'm feeling, and it's just giving me a mind, a way to kind of find my way through how I'm feeling and how we're trying to do this business, me and my business partner, Shireen, and her mother, actually. We have a mother-daughter team here.
Nice.
So my question to you is, what is your take on the money that you're putting into your 401k? When you talk about pay yourself, that's a thing that I have been doing for years. I have this little side account where I, pay myself and, doing different things. So what is your take on when I hear a lot of the, the multifamily groups that we've been on tell us, to kind of mess with your 401k money? And to me, in my mind, that's like a way of paying future Stacey, who's of a nice particular age, to have that extra income when I get to that age. So I feel like a little apprehensive about messing with that money.
So my perspective on it, I have a 401k. I maxed it out since I was 21 years old. If you follow the cycles of the stock market, that money should be worth 90 million or 100 million by the time I die. If you follow it, I think 90% of people on this planet probably need to use it because they're not disciplined enough to use their money in other ways, to be honest. But the 401k has two secrets that are ridiculous that the industry will never tell you. One, fees. If you and me put money in the same thing at the same time, and your fund has 1% fee and my fund has a 3% fee, I will have 40 to 60% less than you at the end. Fees compound, reverse, and people don't know it. And that's what the industry is counting on, apathy. I'll drop that 401k post in a moment. They are counting on the fact that everyone is just systematically taking, remember I said, you got to systematically invest in yourself. Well, they want you to systematically invest in their fund, so they systematically get those fees. That's their passive income. So you have to be aware of that. The second thing about the 401k, all the people who had 401ks who wanted to retire in 2022, they can't, because a 401k is very dependent on timing. If the market is down when you are trying to retire, you may have lost 50, 60, 70% of the value of what the thing is in the first place. And that's why certain people who are 65, 70 right now are still working, because unfortunately, the market went down in 2020, 2021, 2022 at the time when they were supposed to retire. So those are things. Now, the vehicle can be used positively. And what all the multifamily people are trying to tell you is take control of all that money that's in there, roll it into a self-directed IRA, and then put it into, don't get me wrong, they are trying to get you to invest in multifamily for whatever reasons that they have, but it is a powerful tool that you have available to you to use for yourself. One more thing, 401ks, real estate, stocks, bonds, Bitcoin, whatever. Just hold on all of that and determine what your actual goals are. So when people were telling me in 02, 03, 04, why are you investing in these small condos? Do you know that you can make all this money over here? And my goal was to generate passive income on a monthly basis so I could have time. I didn't want 30 million. What I wanted was 10 grand a month or 6 grand a month. That's what I wanted, so I could go live. So everything is related to goals. 401ks, you can't touch the money until you're 62, 65, something like that. 59 and a half, technically. I want to live now. I don't want to wait till I'm 65 to live. That's not happening. So you just have to make conscious choices for yourself. But I definitely use the 401k, and you know, it's available. You can do stuff with it.
Right. I guess you guys have gotten in my next topic. That's my topic in 2 weeks. We're going to have a lawyer come in to talk about self-directed IRA in this channel here. That's going to be our next topic. So basically, as many of you know, and some of you may not know, but I know you, so those of you that follow Maurice, I'm a real estate investor. So this meeting is purely educational to educate people, because what Maurice was talking about, I wish I knew those things years ago, and I would have tapped into that information, but you don't know what you don't know. And I made it my mission now to tell people about real estate, to tell people about multifamily, and tell them that information, because not too long ago, I spoke to a guy in his 60s. He lives in New York, and he happened to start having some money coming from investment. And I told him about multifamily and that kind of stuff. He said, well, you guys buy apartments? I thought only Jewish guy can do that kind of stuff. But if you live in New York, you know that the Jewish mentality, the only Jewish people can do this. Like, basically, he's saying us as Black people. And Maurice, thank you so much for coming to today. That's the representation does matter. And that's one of the reasons I brought you in. You're like the first Black man coming here, and, you know, with such a big portfolio, and showing the people, especially my people, hey, you guys can do that too. We all can do it. And that's exactly what Craig was telling you. What makes you believe you cannot do what I can do as a white man? But we have that mindset. We kind of like clouded and saying, oh, we can do this. That's not my place. That we cannot go there. And I never live into that space where people saying, I'm always trying to figure it out. But the thing that you're telling me I can't, when you tell me I can't, I'm gonna show you I can't. So that's my mentality. That's the way I live. But however, I wanted to let you guys know, either investment you want to do, that's fine. But everybody has their own, you know, niche. Even in real estate, there's different type of niches there. So whatever you want to do with your money, it's your money. But as much as you can, try to generate passive income for yourself, so you'll be able to live the life you want, not what people already or society tells you you can do. And that is the purpose of that channel. That is the purpose of what we're giving out there, to let people know. Also, if you're interested in any other topic, let us know. We'll try to bring a speaker here to talk about it. And if you ever want to talk about investing, reach out to us. We have a couple deals going on right now. If you want to talk about anything you would like to invest, please reach out to us. And then we'll see if you are the right fit for our company, and we'll definitely bring you on.
Hey, Suze, can I say one more thing before we go?
Yes.
When you see me get all passionate like that and get on my soapbox and stuff, I want to tell you something. I get aggressive like that because I believe people's lives can be extraordinary. Not because I'm angry, not because I'm mad, but because I know the possibility of everything that's out there. Actually, I don't know. I feel like I know 8% of what's out there. There's more that we can do. So I want you to know that I am smiling. I know I can get sometimes very over passionate about this stuff, but it's because it ties to life. So for whatever you're doing, this investing stuff that you guys are starting to research, please understand what life goal it is doing for you. Because if you're trying to reach a particular goal, that's going to dictate the style of real estate that you do. You do not need to have 3,000 pieces of real estate like me. Don't do that. I have specific goals related to philanthropy. I am stressed because I have to write certain levels of checks. It forces me to stay in a particular space. If your goal is to have enough passive income such that you can live life with your family, then maybe you're talking about 1, 2, 3, 5 places. Maybe you're talking about getting a virtual job, right? So it's related to your goals. So I encourage you to think that way. And then I do need to plug Sue's. So I've gotten so many requests for coaching. I do coach one-on-one, but I am starting to put together a group coaching session. So if you are interested, I drop my information in the chat window, reach out about it. I'm going to try and see if I can put something together. It is new for me, but I care about this stuff so much, and helping people break the system is worth it. So if that's something you think that can help you, let me know.
That sounds great. Well, thank you. Thank you. I am humbled to have you over here. Thank you so much. Thank you for all Maurice folks that are here. Lawrence, I wish I could be in DC this afternoon, but hopefully we'll be able to know what's going on. I don't know if it's going to be broadcasted, but thank you for all of you who showed up and listened to that talk. And Maurice, we'll talk again. Thank you again. Bye, everyone.
Thanks, Suze.
Thank you.